You're listening to the Wealthy Lawyer Squad podcast. I'm your host, Lauren Klein, and the founder of the Wealthy Lawyer Squad, a community specifically curated for law students and lawyers who are ready for more success, wealth, personal growth and wellness, and ease in their legal career. With the tools and strategies I teach in the squad and that I've implemented in my own career successfully, I want you to get ready to approach your legal career in a whole new way and live a life you never imagined. I'm a former big law attorney, entrepreneur, law firm owner, and success coach for law students and new lawyers, and I am here to support and inspire you on your journey in the law every step of the way. Let's go, squad. This episode of the Wealthy Lawyer Squad podcast is sponsored and brought to you by Law Firm Sites. Law Firm Sites has been building custom websites and providing online marketing for law firms specifically for over 23 years. They are great at what they do because it is all that they do. So if you're looking to expand the reach of your firm or just improve your online presence, then Law Firm Sites has the team to do it. Go to lawfirmsites.com or call 800-932-8242 and mention the Wealthy Lawyer Squad to receive 10% off your website or marketing package that you choose. They are absolutely fabulous. Highly recommend them. Love them, love them. Go check them out. Welcome back to the Wealthy Lawyer Squad podcast. Today, I want to talk to you about building a personal brand, starting in law school and as a lawyer. I have to say that when I really started, I didn't know I was doing it at first, but when I really started kind of zeroing in on what is my personal brand, who am I, how do I kind of want the legal world, the world in general to perceive me from a career perspective, from a personal perspective, it has really fast-tracked my career. When I left kind of the more big law, traditional environment almost 2 years ago, which is so crazy, you know, I was a little bit worried in some ways that if I became a little bit too authentic, if I let my personal and my professional kind of merge a bit more, and I let more of my personality and who I am and my bubbliness and my style kind of, shine through into my legal career, I was worried that, I don't know, that it might negatively impact it, or that there might be that people maybe wouldn't take me as seriously, especially as a woman in law. But I have to say that really being more authentic and true to myself and bringing myself more into my interactions with clients and referral partners has really made a huge difference. And I think it's one of the things that for both Kristen and I, Kristen's my law partner, has really allowed us to grow so quickly. I really believe that. And we're almost at 2 years since I left Big Law. We're almost at 2 years since our law firm began. And it's just so cool to see how the branding, the personal brand, the branding of the business it's taken off, and it's fun to see. And so I want to share, my tips for starting in law school. And then as you move through your career, what can you really do to build yourself as a brand? Let's unpack, what does that look like? What should you start to do now, starting today, regardless of where you are in your career, and working on that personal brand so you can have an authentic experience in your legal career. You can grow, your law firm if you have one, or build your book of business, or build your reputation within the firm or the company that you are with. I think a lot of people think of personal branding as more for influencers or, TV personalities, celebrities. But the reality is we each have a brand, whether we realize it or not. It's kind of like an estate plan. You have an estate plan, whether you realize it or not. It's the same thing. We have a brand, whether we realize it or not. So the more intentional that we can be on cultivating that brand and building that out to how we want it to be and how we want the world to perceive us, I think we'll enjoy our law careers a lot better, a lot more. And I think we'll get a lot more out of our experience and find more success. We really are in a profession where our reputation is everything. Trust is everything. And so building your brand in a way that is authentic and true to yourself while maintaining that, that integrity and that honesty and hardworking and all of the things will really help you to find incredible success. And the reality is that there's more people going to law school than ever. And it's important that you differentiate yourself as early on as possible so that you can set yourself up for more opportunities, set yourself up for better clients, better jobs, higher pay, higher revenue. If those are the things that you so choose, whether you're attracting clients, attracting a new job, opportunities, a law school, whatever it might be, I really think that this is important. So step one, define your brand. So like I said, whether you have a brand or not, you have one. So kind of sitting down and saying, if you're in law school, okay, what do I think I want to do? What classes do I enjoy? Taking some personality tests. Take some personality tests to see what would actually be a good fit for me, and then start taking classes in what you think might be a good fit. Maybe you're like me, transactional is the way to go. Maybe you think you might want to do more litigation. Maybe you want to do something really complex like patent law. Maybe estate planning, is your thing, or tax planning, real estate, criminal, whatever it is. Take some time to really be true to yourself, experience different classes, experience different job opportunities while you're in law school. If you're practicing, kind of taking some inventory, taking stock. Am I happy in my current area of law? Is this something that I want to keep doing? Is this aligned with my personality, my values, the life that I want to lead? And kind of reverse engineering from there, and then building that brand out. What are your strengths? What do you excel at? What do you feel like is your superpower? And don't say nothing, because it's not nothing. Everyone has a superpower. You may just not realize what it is yet. And really taking that honest inventory of what is working and what is not working. If you can really understand your unique experience and your unique strengths, you will be able to highlight those for your community so they can see, I want to hire this person, as my lawyer, or the law firm, really wants to hire you because you're going to stand out amongst all the other applicants because you have taken the time to build out that brand. And you'll also attract the right clients and the right law firm or the right company or the right role, whatever it might be. What are your core values? What do you care about? What really matters to you as a human, as a lawyer? What do you care about? What are you passionate about? Not just in the law, what do you care about in life? What are your hobbies? What philanthropies and charities do you support? What do you want your life to look like? What do you love to do? Do you love to travel? Do you love to try new restaurants? Are you really into fitness? Are you really into reading? Maybe you have another business, or you're in two different industries. Maybe you're in law and you're in something else like a creative industry. I'm sitting right now in a podcast studio that is owned by Malia Arnett Archie. She's an IP attorney. She is also a creative. Where do you want your law career to go? Where do you want your life to go? Who's your audience? Who are you connecting with? And obviously this will depend on what area of law you're in and what type of job you have. Maybe your audience is more, you're in law school. So prospective employers, your law professors, the people that you're connecting with, your other law school colleagues. Who is watching you, and who can you tailor the things that you're putting out, the content you're putting out into the world? Who do you want to attract into your world? Maybe the people surrounding you aren't really the individuals you want. Maybe you want to connect with large companies. Maybe you want to connect with, organizations that are doing good in the world. Whatever it is, kind of thinking about, what is it that I want to do? Who do I want to attract? And your USP. I love this, and I love thinking about this. And this is a great journal prompt. What is my unique selling proposition? What is it that I bring to the table? My life experience, my strengths. What is it that people tell? And ask people, ask your friends, ask your parents, ask your employer, former employer, what strengths do I bring to the table? Tell me 5 awesome things about me, and take notes on what they're telling you, seriously, and write it down and start to really hone in on what is your superpower? What is your USP? So you can start to share that with the world. whether it's on social media or just in your daily conversations at networking events, starting to focus on that and take the time to really write these things down. What is my USP? What are my strengths? Who do I want to connect with? Where do I want my life to go? So you can tailor this in a way that feels good to you and, looks to what you're trying to actually achieve. Now, it's 2024 when this episode comes out. It might even be 2025. Online presence is pretty much at this point a necessary evil, whether you love it, whether you hate it, whether you're like, oh, I don't want to do it. Having an online presence is important. Now, you don't have to have an online presence everywhere, although you could. I personally have really started to try to learn more and dive more into LinkedIn. I've always felt comfortable with Instagram. Instagram is where I feel comfortable. I feel like I understand it. I feel like my people are on there. Facebook, I'm kind of like, whatever. TikTok, I'm like, I might be a little old for TikTok. I don't know. But Instagram has always been comfortable for me. But the reality is that a lot of the people that I want to see what I'm doing and to connect with, whether it's potential clients, referral partners, brand opportunities, something that we're going to be doing in 2025 is a lot more speaking engagements. We did one in Scottsdale a couple of weeks ago. It was phenomenal at the Minted Wealth Live event that I was invited to be a speaker. We're going to be speaking at masterminds this upcoming year. Who do you want to be attracting and who do you want to see? And so for us right now, LinkedIn is, and Instagram are really the places that we are honing in on our skills of really, running those platforms. So I think taking a look and doing a social media online presence audit for yourself. Do you have at least one or two platforms? Going on, what does it say? Do you have, a high quality headshot or picture that is kind of, reflecting that brand? Do you want it to be more professional, more, traditional? Is it going to be a suit, a blazer, something like that? Is it going to be more of like that soft smile? Or maybe you want it to be more fun, more engaging, more informal. You're not wearing a suit, you're wearing something more fun colors. What do you like? There's no rules anymore. Honestly, I see people doing so many fun things in the legal industry and beyond. What do you want to do? How do you want people to perceive you? And honestly, if it feels good to you, have fun with it. And, you don't have to go and hire, especially if you're in law school or new in your career, you don't necessarily have to go and hire someone to do a headshot, although there are very reasonable photographers out there. If you ever need any contacts in the Florida area, there's amazing people. I think it's worth paying a little bit of money to get a good headshot. But really you can get, anyone who has a good phone nowadays. The camera on these things is incredible. Making sure that you have a good profile picture. It sounds so simple, but a lot of people miss that step. You can even put stuff in the banner if we're talking about LinkedIn. Who do you want to attract? How do you want people to see you? And put that in there. And then you have the character space right below, whether it's Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, and have each of the different platforms be consistent. You obviously can have a little bit more fun on Instagram and TikTok if you want. You can be a little bit more serious on LinkedIn, but having it really reflect who you are, what you care about, and throw things in there that are personal too. Are you a mom? Are you a dad? Do you volunteer at the Humane Society? Do you volunteer at Children's Harbor? What do you really care about? Do you care about more, the planet, wildlife? Are you more passionate about animals or children? There's no right or wrong answers, but what is it that you really feel reflects your values, and put that in there. Something else that I actually recently changed on my LinkedIn was I had it written like Lauren Klein is da 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 da. And I went to a masterclass on kind of optimizing your LinkedIn. And they're like, don't do that. Write it from first person. I'm Lauren Klein. Here's what I do. Here's the things that I'm passionate about. Here's my experience. And don't be afraid to brag about yourself. That's why that USP is so great. And those journaling exercises that we went through, in the last few minutes are so important. brag about yourself. And if you don't feel comfortable bragging about yourself, take those 5 things that you asked from different people, your friends, your family, your colleagues, your bosses, whatever it is. Write those things down, put those out there, because those are the things that you want people to see. Tell your qualifications, tell the world what motivates you, highlight your experience. Were you asked to speak at an event at your law school? Were you recently featured in a publication or in Super Lawyers? This is not the time to be modest. This is the time to oversell yourself, really share as much as you can, even if it feels uncomfy. For me, it really felt uncomfy in the beginning. Now I'm like, yep, I'm going to tell everyone all about myself all the time because I'm proud. I'm proud of what I'm doing. I'm proud of the things that I'm building, that Krista and I are building together. I think it's really great. You might want to do a personal website. I've seen even in law school, people doing a personal website. Here's who I am. Here's my information. Here's the areas of law that I'm interested in. Here's my resume. Here's the type of jobs that I'm looking for. Here are the type of people that I want to meet. And I think that that's just a great idea. And it takes it beyond just that, piece of paper, that resume, that CV that can be kind of dry and boring unless, you're Elwoods and it's pink and it's scented. Another thing that was kind of step 2, social media, online presence, whatever that looks like for you. Step 3 is your network. So your network is partially online, but your network is also in person. So who are you networking with? Who are you talking to? Who are your friends and your colleagues that, you're referring business back and forth? They're, telling you about job opportunities, recommending you for job opportunities. Maybe that's your law professor, who's going to be doing those things. But networking, I think, has this like icky kind of connotation, like, oh, that sounds so boring. I'm going to hand out like 30 business cards, call it a day. Like, why did I just do that? Did I just waste my time? So doing it intentionally, I think, is really important. Going to events that actually are aligned with what you're trying to accomplish and will have the people there that you want to meet, even if it's not a legal networking event. It might be something totally different. I think it's so important. Attending conferences and seminars. There's some not so great ones out there, but there's a lot of really, really cool ones, especially nowadays in the legal field or, adjacent fields. Go to those events, watch the panels on the things that you want to do. Go up to people afterwards and say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I really loved your speech, your talk, your insight, your wisdom. And here's the things that I'm working on and I want to accomplish. I'd love to take you out for coffee, or I'd love to shoot you an email, to just introduce myself further, and maybe ask you a question or two, or here's the things that I have going on. I think that doing that and getting to know people, following them on LinkedIn, on Instagram, reaching out to them, sending them a note, sending them even a handwritten note. I've been getting handwritten notes lately, and oh my gosh, I'm like, this is so nice. Someone actually took the time to write a note, put it in the mail. And I think those things really help you to stand out, and they might be a little bit of a lost art. So if you do them, you might be one of the only ones who are doing those. Now, when it comes to these seminars and these conferences and these bar organizations, a little hot tip that I think a lot of people don't know is oftentimes these organizations have a budget for you, especially if you're a new lawyer or a law student, to get involved. So when I was the co-chair of the New Tax Lawyers Committee of the Florida Bar, tax section, it's like a freaking mouthful. We had a budget. So people, when they were in law school or they were new lawyers, they could get involved. They could come to the events. They could stay at the really nice hotel. They could network. And that way it wasn't coming out of their pocket in law school or in the beginning of their career. Find those organizations, those bar associations in your area, and see if they have a budget. See if they can, maybe pay for part of the cost of you to go to an event. And if you do that early on, especially while you're in law school, and you can build those relationships and differentiate yourself that early on, when it comes time for you to apply for jobs, you won't just be another name in the stack of paper. You'll be someone that they met multiple times at different events. You've already started building that know, like, and trust that you want when people are going to hire you. Finding a mentor also in that networking, kind of part of this is so key. Finding one or more people who can support you, who can have your back, who can really be there for you. and guide you along the way is incredible. I wish I would have started doing that much earlier in my career. I still struggle with this, but asking people for help and like almost like a favor is very hard for me. I'm getting better at it. I have, especially over the last 2 years, been very, very, very lucky, very blessed to have so many great people in my circle who want to help me and I want to help them. But finding people who can help you along the way is great. I also think that being consistent, this is kind of step 4, being consistent is really important. So yes, you might change practice areas. You might decide to do something different, but once you kind of pick something, if you're not pivoting, if you're not in a pivot, a transition, stick with it. Be consistent. Maybe find a tagline or something, especially on Instagram. I'm at lawyer Lauren Klein. Find something that kind of highlights who you are, what you're doing, everything about you. And I think reinforcing that through consistency is important and delivering on the promises that you make. That is going to be one of the best ways to build your brand. If you say you're going to be somewhere, be there. If you say you're going to do something, do it. If you say you're going to do it by this day, try to do it sooner. Keep up with the things to the I understand we're all busy, but to the greatest extent possible, that will allow you and your network to grow and flourish more than you would ever imagine. And, again, seeking feedback, doing all these things, doing the journal exercises, talking to people, getting your social media presence optimized, building out that network, and then reevaluating, talking to those in your community saying, hey, what do you think about this? How does this look? Or is there something that you think I could do better or say better? Or is there something about me that is awesome that I'm not quite picking up on? I think all of those things will be so helpful, especially as the legal industry continues to evolve. It becomes more and more competitive, and it becomes oftentimes more difficult to navigate. Having that personal brand, being true to yourself, being authentic through your law career will help you to grow, will help you to succeed. And I think it will also help you to have better mental well-being because you will feel aligned with who you are in the inside, in your personal life, with your professional life as well. Thank you so much again. So grateful to have this Wealthy Lawyer Squad community. If you enjoyed this episode, please do not hesitate to leave a review, leave a rating, share with a friend, share with a colleague. And I'm so excited for a few more episodes in this year. And we're going to be in 2025 before we know it. So happy holidays. And I will talk to y'all soon. Bye.